Okay, we have a constant friction force of 25 newtons acting on a 65 kilogram skier for 20 seconds. What is the skier's change in velocity? So I'm assuming that the skier has now gone down the slope and now kind of at the bottom. So now all that's going to happen to the skier is the skier is going to slow down. So here's a skier. I don't know. Here's a skier. He's holding his poles. He's wearing his skis. Okay, whatever. Okay, there's your skier. And moving in this direction, the force is friction, so it's a negative force. Think about it, it's working against motion. So this person should be slowing down. All right, so I'm thinking about momentum. I'm thinking about the momentum being kind of slowed down here. And I'm thinking about those two formulas for impulse, and that would be, or delta P. And that would be force and delta T, and also delta P equals mass and delta V. Okay, I'm thinking of these two. So I actually have enough information to solve for delta P because I have a 25 Newton force that's happening over a 20-second interval. So I could actually solve for delta P here. Once I get it, I could plug it in over here, and I have the mass of the skier, 65 kilograms. I could find the change in velocity. Okay. Or I'm going to do what I showed you before, and I'm going to actually combine these two equations into one. So let me write down my given information. And I have the force. Since it's a friction force of 25 newtons, I'm going to make that negative, because it's working against the motion. Let's see, the mass is 65 kilograms, and the amount of time is 20 seconds. And I'm going to combine these two equations. Force change in time is equal to mass change in velocity. Now I want to solve for change in velocity, so I'm going to divide away the mass. And I have change in velocity is equal to force times change in time divided by the mass. Well, I know all that information, so at this point, all I'm going to do is plug everything in and solve it. So the force is negative 25 newtons. The change in time is 20 seconds, and the mass is 65 kilograms. And I can do some quick math here. Let me pull up my calculator. And I have negative 25 times 20 divided by 65. And I'm getting a negative change in velocity of negative 7.7 meters per second, which means that the velocity of the skier will slow down by 7.7 meters per second over the 20 seconds that the frictional force is acting on the skier. Now, if there's any questions here, just let me know. But just to reiterate this, I made the force negative because the force of friction is always working against motion. So if this is my motion, this is positive, then the force of friction, the 25 Newton force is going in that direction, so that's why I made it negative, because it's always working against motion. Okay, this method, in general, get to this point, use this equation, then whatever you're solving for, whatever you're trying to figure out, you can isolate it and then plug in your information.